them are more than pals.
Our show can be a little gay,
But if you're not,
that's okay.
you can listen and have fun either way. Xena, Star Wars, Doctor Who, guests and music and reviews. Game of Thrones, Winona too. We promise there's something for you. She nerds out. We're girls that like nerdy things. Nerdy things.
Hello and welcome to the She Nerds Out podcast. I'm Kat.
I'm Wendy.
And this is Tara.
In today's episode, we have some nerd news, including our big, everyone's waiting for it, the big Comic-Con recap that our friends Tara and Wendy here are going to give us. And we have a beautiful mail sack this week. So let's get to it. But before we do, hey, Wendy.
Hey.
Hey. So,
Birthdays?
Sure.
Is that what you want?
You know
Okay. I've got birthdays for you.
it. Okay.
July 27th. The greatness that is Maya Rudolph.
Oh,
Awesome.
Love Maya Rudolph.
Love it.
How
Emmy
old
nominee.
is-
Probably
Oh,
again.
really?
She's probably nominated before. Yep.
Wildly talented
I can just
woman.
look at Maya Rudolph's face and it makes me laugh in a good way.
Yeah.
She just makes me laugh.
Maya Rudolph is going to be celebrating her 51st birthday.
Wow. Looking good.
Is she right, Tara?
What?
Would you agree?
Oh,
Is-
that's
that
the
was
guess.
my guess.
That's her guess.
Oh, I thought you just were a big Maya fan. You just knew that. Okay. All right. Give me a sec. I'm going to say 53.
You're gonna be wrong because Kat's right. It's
What?
51.
What? Damn.
Look at the big brain over here. Wow, nailed it.
Okay, July 28th.
Happiest day of my life. What?
Okay, the 28th is
Okay.
an actress I was once compared to in a maybe not so complimentary way.
Oh,
As a
damn it.
costume,
I know this, but I don't know it.
Sally
Okay.
Struthers.
Sally Struthers.
Oh, what? Okay. Who and where?
Some
Who do,
website. I looked like Sally Struthers in a Supergirl outfit.
who do I beat up?
I don't know who it was. Nameless,
Mm.
faceless idiot.
Unbelievable. What,
It wasn't my best look, but still,
what an asshole.
I'd really look like it now. But
Sally
anyway,
is still with us?
I hope so. Sally's on.
Can
Let
you
me-
double check that?
Or at
my-
least Sally's last known birthday.
Let me check my files. Yeah.
Okay.
Sally's around.
Oh, great news. Okay.
Okay.
Boy, I mean, I'm thinking,
I mean, when you're in your 30s, dressed like Supergirl, that's not the comparison. No offense to
No,
Sally
it's-
Struthers.
I think she
Anyway.
would agree.
So be
gonna
nice
s-
because people remember when you're not.
Oh, boy.
Anonymous idiots.
I don't even know.
Wendy's rant. 70?
70?
Okay, 74.
76.
Ah, very good, Tara.
Ah.
Well done, well done. Well, I'm
All
so
right.
glad that she's still alive.
Me too. Me and Sally. I feel like we're bonded now.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, I'm just gonna because this page I'm looking at is only showing through the 29th. Because you know what, we're gonna do the 29th because there's good birthdays every day. I'm trying to pick
Right.
which one I should do. Do y'all want to guess Will
Well-
Wheaton or Josh Radnor from How I Met Your Mother?
Ooh.
Let's go Wheaton.
Ooh, Wheaton. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say
Will Wheaton.
49.
Will Wheaton is 46.
Will Wheaton is 51.
Oh,
Almost guessed
okay.
it. Yeah.
Will's doing good.
Yeah,
Looking
he
good,
done
Will.
right. He done right.
Mm.
Happy
Right on.
birthday to all you people that probably aren't listening, but we wish you well nonetheless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Anything interesting happened this morning, you guys?
Yes, it did. The morning of this recording, you know what they had? That was largely, I feel. I mean, they're probably gonna have stories on it, but still, there were hearings about UFOs, UAPs, unearthly craft
Mm-hmm.
that, and like testifying and about telling House lawmakers that they're in the dark about UAP or UFOs, and that they're here, they've been hidden.
Yes,
And-
like military officers,
Yes, these are-
pilots, people high ranking in the military.
Yes, David Grush, 14 years. He was an intelligence officer in the Air Force and, places. So he's got the experience. He's a smart guy. Also, there was a, trying to find the other names right here. Ryan Graves, former Navy pilot who has encountered UAP, and David Fravor, who spotted the infamous Tic Tac, because it looks like a Tic Tac UFO. There's a video that was released, and it's like sitting there, and he was telling the story about how they tracked it, and then it kind of jammed their trackers, and they tracked it with this other thing, and all of a sudden it just went boop, and there was no like means of propulsion that he could see. It was like just this 40-foot thing, and it just took off. But anyway, so they testified this morning under oath.
And congressional hearing, is that?
Congressional hearing,
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so what do they
here
expect? We go. I didn't mean to sound so judgmental.
But you did.
Okay, so what do they expect to gain? Like, what is this hearing? Like,
they want an investigation.
What's the output? Okay.
They want an investigation, because here's their thing. And look, you can go. I watched as much of it as I could. It's only like 2.5 hours long, and
they could do all the UFO, tell us everything about it in 2.5 hours.
Stop! It wasn't that. So it was basically them telling their stories. Like this guy Grush, he's never seen things, but he's interviewed people. He's talked to witnesses. He's got all these stories, and he feels like this is being kept from the American people, what they have and what they've been doing. And he said there have been instances where people have been harmed, either by humans trying to keep them quiet or by some sort of involvement with the UAP. Said they've recovered bodies. He's saying all this under oath. He wants an investigation into why it's been covered up. He's saying that there are companies that are like essentially upcharging citizens for their product to funnel some of that money into these projects. I mean, think of any sort of, what was I forget, the military industrial complex was that line I remember from the X-Files. That's a
great line.
Common phrase. It's just this whole, it's not just the military involved. In fact, a lot of the military probably doesn't have a clue. A lot of government obviously doesn't have a clue, but there's some group
within the government,
a shadow government,
including
M12 or MJ12, Majestic 12, whatever it is.
Black Badge.
Illuminati.
Black Badge. Yep.
Anywho, so that this project, and they wanted to cover the pilot, he was mainly talking about things he'd seen and how people go about reporting it, the response they get. They need to have a way to feel like they can report these things. He felt, personally, it wasn't based on stats. He just feels like only 5% of unidentified objects that pilots spot are even reported, because they're just like, I don't even want to talk about it.
Interesting.
He talked about dark or gray or black cubes inside of a clear sphere. He also talked about some random red football field long cube that just like came out of the water and was doing random things that you never heard of. David Fravor, who see, like, they all come across as incredibly smart, just like dudes that like, look, I'm here because it's the right thing to do. And this one guy even said, like, I was basically, people tried, like, come on, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's like, I didn't want to do it, but I felt like, okay. And they felt like maybe he'd lend some credibility because he is such a respectable kind of guy, and talking about seeing this UFO, and and I think all of them are like, we don't know what it is, or at least the two pilots. So it's like, we don't necessarily know what it is, but they are showing up, possibly endangering pilots or bases or whatever, and it's not investigated, I guess, to their satisfaction. There's no trying to prevent them from showing up. They just want to know what's going on, and they think the people should know what's going on.
So when do we know the outcome of this hearing?
Well, there were a lot of things that were asked, especially of this Grush, David Grush. And he was basically like, I can't tell you in public, but I'll tell you in private about like names, locations, more information that for either for his own safety or to avoid maybe prosecution in some way. I don't know what, why he can't say some things and he can say other things, but he's like, I have told so-and-so committee in private, or I can tell you in private.
Right. But what's the next step, I guess?
I don't know. I don't know if they take this and then say, We demand an investigation. Look, if things like this are controlled by the elite of the elite of the elite, and they're, the top 2% of the 2% are in charge of this, these little hearings aren't going to mean a thing. They're not just going to tell everybody all their secrets because these 3 whistleblower guys talk to Congress. They're like, whatever, they'll be out here someday. Like, they're it's like this group that controls things that I think views people like this as temporary obstacles.
Sure.
And they're not going to unleash all the secrets of history because these 3 guys testified today.
But
who knows?
Think the fact that this congressional committee is taking these claims seriously, and the fact that it's now officially in the books that the government acknowledges the fact that these things exist. I think that is a big takeaway. But I think you're right, Wendy. I think things are going to be happening behind the scenes. I think there's going to be investigations that we probably don't know the outcomes to because of sensitive information. But it's one step closer to being like, hey, everybody, we know they're real. And, we don't think you're crazy if you think you saw a UFO.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of this.
And you have this guy literally willing to put, assuming it's real, himself, and his family at risk to come testify under oath in front of the world and say, I have it on good authority that, yes, there are craft that aren't from Earth, this planet as we know it. They're non-human beings. They're like, and he's saying, it's almost like but then there's also that, well, are these a plant? Then of course, today too on Twitter is like, it was just to cover up the Hunter Biden story. And then the Hunter Biden story was just there to cover up the UFO hearings. It's like everybody thinks the other side is covering up the other side. So whatever. I don't care. It was great watch though. It was really fascinating to watch. Just the fact that they're literally going there in front of Congress to say, yeah, there's like UFOs and y'all should check them out. And there's a lot of things that I can't even tell you in public because they're so, it's amazing. It's like a freaking X-Files come to life.
It's a big deal.
How's this not like the lead story? No, it's because Hunter Biden's the lead story because it was planted to cover this up. Or vice versa. I don't know. Either way, I want to see more hearings. And I'm so down the rabbit hole on all this that I'm going to keep trying.
I'm coming with you, Wendy. I'm coming with you.
Oh, I've been on such a rabbit hole this week.
Jumping in the hole.
Yeah. So we're going to jump into?
Uh-oh.
Our mail sack.
Oh, no. I mean, oh, yay! Mail sack. Just the way you say sack. It just made me nervous. Okay. Shall I begin?
You should.
Okay. So I have a mail from Suze.
Yay, Suze.
Called Mini Snop Pride. Hey guys, I probably should have explained myself better in the last email. Hepton Bridge isn't a show. It's an actual small town in West Yorkshire or is it Yorkshire? Yorkshire. That has become known as the lesbian capital of the UK because the amount of lesbians who live there per capita. Because of the amount of lesbians. So, okay, there's a lot of lesbians there apparently. Though if they ever made a show about it, I'd definitely watch. They should.
That's a good show name too. Hebden Bridge.
That's great.
The L word, Hebden Bridge.
Yeah.
We've moved to a small market town in the East Riding of Yorkshire. It's only 20 miles away from York, so not far from where we were before. It's a cute little town that's biggest claim to fame is that the tallest man in the UK lived here in the 18th century.
Okay.
Wow. The town even has a fair every year to celebrate him.
That's adorable.
I bet it involved people on stilts.
If not, what are they doing?
It should be. Tara, if you do come over to the UK near Christmas, there are so many Christmas fairs for you to choose from. Oh, sounds fun. Manchester is meant to be brilliant and probably the biggest, but there's loads of them, including York, which has a cute little one.
I bet York's is so cute.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
If you do come over, it would be great to meet up again. Stop at Christmas.
Oh,
that sounds amazing.
Stop at Christmas.
So good.
This weekend just gone, I had the awesome pleasure of seeing Max again and meeting AK for the first time at Barnsley Pride. I dragged my friend Winter along with me, and we had so much fun, even with the crazy British weather. One moment, beautiful sunshine, the next, absolutely pissing it down. Winter hasn't ever listened to Oh, I was thinking of a season for a second.
Yeah.
Talk about weather. Winter hasn't even ever listened to the Snot, but I think seeing our mutual love of you guys and with my powers of persuasion, I can make a squire out of her.
Aw.
Hey, Winter.
Winter,
What up,
what's up?
Winter?
Hey,
Oh, look
Winter,
at the fun
hey.
pictures.
How you doing? Look at the picture. Yes,
These pictures are
we have a lot of pictures.
wonderful.
These pictures are so awesome. There's Max, A.K. Suze. I'm so just like I feel like
oh, what fun
so-
pictures.
just the memories of hanging out with all of them was so much fun last year.
That does
And
look
I'm
fun.
so freaking jealous that they all met up.
That sounds so fun. And Max is sporting their Snop Tart shirt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Guys, this is awesome. Thank you for sending these,
Yeah,
Suze.
that looks
These
so
are
fun.
Yeah.
these are really filling me with joy today.
Oh my gosh. Oh. All
Amazing.
right. Thank you, Suze.
Sounds
I
like-
hope to
sounds
see
like
you
a-
at Christmas time.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have one from Beck. Beck says, "Hey nerds."
Hey,
Beck.
Beck.
Why is that so hard?
I
I
forgot
got-
because I'm usually the one reading the Hey Nerds.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
used to having to do Hey Becks.
I got a new job at my old school recently, and it's kind of given me hope for the world. Working for myself wasn't really stable enough for me now that my living situation has changed. So now I'm a ground/maintenance officer at a fancy schmancy private Catholic school.
Okay.
The school has changed so much since I was there last time that I get a bit lost. I now work alongside 3 guys who are all around my dad's age and who don't get me at all.
Oh, God.
They're the nicest guys, though. When I first started, they proudly announced they'd put a unisex sign on the toilet door,
Aw.
had gotten me my very own sanitary bin,
Aw.
and gotten a new toilet seat.
That is so
Wow,
cute.
They're nice.
I
That is
haven't,
the sweetest thing I've heard all day.
I haven't managed to train them to put it down yet, though. Anyway, the reason it has given me hope is the fact that when I was a student at the school, I was so scared to come out because it was seen as the worst thing in the world. But now, like 20 years later, they have a bunch of out people on staff. They host pride events. During my interview, one of the guys encouraged me to keep wearing my rainbow band on my watch, and on the notice board, they even advertise one of the teachers' drag shows.
My
It's
goodness.
awesome. That is awesome.
Amazing.
I would have given anything for that school to be like that when I went there as a student. If typically unwelcoming places like a Catholic school can change its tune this much, it gives me hope that maybe more people's opinions can change too. I've stumbled across an amazing focus shift here. Okay, but that's
Yeah,
very nice. That's
tonal-
really
Tonal shift.
yeah. Okay. I've stumbled across an amazing podcast that I'm recommending to absolutely everyone. It's got everything: a crime, a lesbian wedding, accent, specifically English and Kiwi, an investigation, amazing friendships, and most importantly, a shit. It's called Who Shat on the Wedding? Who Shat on the Floor at My Wedding? It's about a lesbian wedding that was interrupted by a crime. That crime, someone shitting on the floor. The podcast follows the investigations. They try to find the culprit. It's hilarious. I wish I was friends with these people, or at least wish I had friendships like these people have. They even somehow managed to get in legit experts at investigating. Highly recommend. Lastly, go the Matildas in the
Nice.
World Cup. The rest of the teams suck.
I disagree.
Love you guys.
I know this podcast, Who Shat at My Wedding, and I'm also obsessed with it. I've listened to it all the way through about 3 times. It is so fun and delightful, and Detective Lauren is not a detective, but she's trying her hardest. It is so funny, guys. It's a delightful listen, and the accents are just it's what you need. So yeah, definitely check it out. I can't. I'm so glad that you recommended this, Beck, because Anne Higgs-Bleeker recommended it to me, and God, it's so good. And it's quick episodes. It goes fast, but like if you need sort of like a very low stress, low stakes, fun listen, this is the podcast for you. It's so endearing and charming, and I love it so much.
I'm down for that.
And it's about as
I like
shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And also, yes, go Matildas. Have you guys seen I think it's called We Are Matildas. It's like a Disney Plus series about the Australian women's soccer team.
No.
It's really good. It's made me into a Matildas fan. Unfortunately, we're going to be playing Canada in a couple of days, and that's a problem for me.
Ooh.
But it's so fun, and you don't have to be a soccer fan to be into it, but it's a cool insight on how women, like professional women's soccer is specifically, like how there's a high injury rate because they never get a break because they're always flying from one team. Like, they're playing professional ball in America and then they have to go and work out with the international team because there's a tournament. Like, these women are worked to the bone, man. And so there's so much turnover because of injury and there's so many lesbians. It's a great watch. I recommend it. Go Matildas.
So many lesbians.
So many. Unless they're playing America, Canada. And but no, I think they're the third team I'm really rooting for is the Matildas. So
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
I think we'll get into
check
World
that
Cup
out
a little later. We'll talk more.
Yeah,
World
we'll do
Cup
some
later.
World
Yeah.
Cup chat.
Anyway, thank you, Beck. Thank you for
Thanks, Beck.
emailing us. We appreciate it. Hey, it's my turn to read an email from our mail sack.
That I'm looking for. As I thought.
And it is from Max. And the title of this email is Snop in the North. Nights in the North. Hey guys, reporting from the Knights of Snop-a-Lot get together in the north of England. Snop in the North.
Yeah. Oh man, so
the
jealous.
awesome Sir Suze of York, with her delightful prospect Squire Winter in tow. I love that we're getting all these different perspectives of this day.
I know.
Joined Sir AK and me for some friendly jousting at my town's Pride event. It was so much fun. Susan Winter nearly didn't make it due to Google Maps' deceptive confusion techniques.
Mm-hmm.
There was some disagreement as to whether this is because Google Maps might be run by the hostility-infused fanboy collective, or because Susan Winter were simply so excited to see us that they completely lost their sense of geographic orientation.
Maybe a mix.
Could have been a combo. It was intermittently pissing down because, it's England. And
I'm gathering that means it's raining.
Yes.
yeah, pissing.
No one's actually pissing
No.
down. It's just raining very hard.
Yes, I think you're right. Yes, I think that's what that means. A testimony of their true chivalry, Sir AK saved us all by providing shelter under their humongous rainbow umbrella. Enjoy the pictures and snop on, Max. We have more photos from the day.
And a couple
cute
videos.
pictures.
That is a big umbrella.
Just so awesome to see this. Look at
Some
this,
videos
guys.
of them dancing.
Guys,
Oh my gosh.
we should take credit for all of this.
We
did
take
this.
explicit credit.
We did
Look
this.
at this. Look at
We
this
brought
group.
These wonderful people together.
Oh, so cute.
I'm so
I
proud.
love that. Is so many rainbows going on in that picture of Max, AK, and Suze. I love it.
Max is cutting a rug.
Yeah. So awesome.
Oh, that's adorable.
They're so cute.
Oh,
I'm just not getting my video up. Wow, that is some dancing.
That looks like a good time.
I'm saying. This is so
Wow.
That dance, that's funny.
fun. I wish
That looks way more
That
fun to
looks
me
very
than
happy.
West Hollywood Pride. That's
Oh, heck
It's like
yeah.
a freaking good time.
I wish we could.
I would go to that. That's fun.
This is awesome. And the videos, it's not pissing at that moment. There's a nice sun. It looks like the sun's out. They're not under
I
the
prefer
umbrella.
the pissing.
Me too. Wish it would
Well,
piss more here.
Exactly. We need
Let's
more
all
pissing
just
in LA.
Hope for more piss here.
Mm,
Yeah.
a different kind. I feel like
All
there's
right,
a lot of
well,
it around the
there
city,
are
but
places you can go where there's
Ugh.
lots of piss.
Yeah.
I can tell you there are some that aren't far from here.
Are you ready for another perspective?
I am.
Yes.
Yes, this is like a
Just
really
saying that
fun.
This is like the Rashomon of Pride.
It is. It is.
I love it.
3 sides and the truth.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is from AK, entitled Darkness and Rainbows.
Oh my.
And lo, for 1 week, the snot fell silent.
Oh,
A
no.
week that shall ever live in infamy. In the annals, not anals, in the annals of the Knights of Snop-a-Lot, that dark, dark week of silence and despair.
Oh, no.
It shall only be known as the dark time, and the knights shall bow their heads to speak of it. And though the darkness did continue through the space of a week, it ended
no.
abruptly on a Wednesday.
Well, strap in for this week.
Yeah. Hey, my dudes, glad you're back. We missed you. Things have been happening. Erp Expo sounds amazing. Well done, Captain. Wow, you got actual Benedict Cumberbatch on the show? That's amazing. Yes, we did.
Oh, yeah.
Benedict.
It's
Oh, there-
the strike.
there he is
Everybody's
again.
Yeah,
I'm back.
it's co-host.
That sounds nothing like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Over here, I had the great pleasure of attending a small but perfectly formed town pride with Sir Max. What? I had no idea.
Breaking news.
I didn't know this. It would have been fun in and of itself, but what made it properly awesome was that we were joined by the most noble Sir Suze for the first official gathering of the declared UK Knights of Snop-a-Lot.
Yes.
I love
Suze
it
is
so
great.
much.
It was a pleasure to meet both her and her as yet non-podcast listener of any podcast, I mean, not just this one, friend, and future Squire Winter. They were both brilliant and hilarious. We had a great time, despite the outrageous rainstorms and the mad wind that kept driving us all indoors. I imagine there are photos. Yes, there are. I imagine there are photos kicking about, drinking, dancing. Realizing we were old enough to be the parents of these dancing kids was kind of distressing. But what can you do? Sir Max and I even managed a side quest, facing down a great and mighty king of the beasts who had been terrorizing the local villagers. Turned out she wasn't angry or threatening, just lost and homesick, a misplaced Aussie, and recognized the knightly snop crest emblazoned on Sir Max's chest. All she wanted was a way to get home to Taz and Sir Beck. We gave her a cucumber. That seemed to cheer her up a bit. We hope they'll be reunited eventually. I'm so confused by that whole paragraph.
I am too.
Is that a actual person
I
or
don't know.
wow, okay. Well,
So confused.
I don't know what that meant, but I'm not done.
oh, okay. Whoa.
Wow.
I'm not done yet.
Whoa.
I'm just
Okay. Sorry.
confused. Is it that dinosaur?
Is it the dinosaur?
Is that what you're talking about?
I think maybe that picture that we have
Yeah.
in this one.
Hold on.
What is the dinosaur made of? I cannot tell, but it's so cool.
Looks like
Okay.
Vine.
Now I get
Wires
it.
or
Wire, yeah.
It looks
Copper?
like
vines
like,
or
like a wicker type situation.
wicker?
It's very
Cool, though.
large and cool.
Okay, now I get it.
I like that.
right.
It's just
I'm glad
pointing
they
at it.
found their way home.
All right. I continue.
Okay.
AK continues with, we are considering a nightly pilgrimage to that lesbian mecca of the UK, Hebden Bridge.
There we go.
We've all somehow contrived never to have visited. It feels like something that needs to be put right. If there's anywhere in the UK that a person is likely to manage a wild sighting of a snot t-shirt, it's there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, Xena conversion update. Watched an episode of Xena called The Price, which I found distressingly light in Argo content, but otherwise pretty good. Gabby continues to be really quite irritating. What? Come on.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Still,
well,
it's great fun
yeah.
watching with our fellow knight, Sir Nancy and Squire Courtney. They're hilarious. Wow, those guest appearances you gifted us with at the end of the episode were quite something, my lieges. I'm not sure quite what, but definitely quite something. I think Benedict was probably very impressed. Just joyful to have you back in our ear holes, my lieges. Thanks for coming back. Keep on nerding out, Sir AK.
All right. Thank you, AK. I
Thanks,
just
AK.
Google mapped Hebden Bridge.
Yes.
It is also in the north.
In the
Uh,
north?
Not far from, I say not far. I mean, it's probably, as far as LA standards, it's not far as far,
Yeah,
you know, how
exactly.
far things are here. It's not far from Leeds. And guess what? It's right smack in the middle of Leeds and Manchester, where the market is. Not far from
Okay.
there. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Depending on when this might happen, I don't know.
I
Do
mean,
they have a lesbian Christmas fair? That's all I'm asking.
it's probably a fair full of lesbians. Does that count?
Just a lesbian fair. I'll take that too.
This is all very intriguing.
Hmm.
I would love to do this with you guys. That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Can you
All right.
imagine?
I know. I'm trying to. Trying to get this. Yeah. All right. I got I got Jackie.
Jackie!
Jackie and Buster, it seems.
Yay!
Howdy, gang. Long time no email. Nope, that's not right. 2AK. Oh, this is 2AK. Never mind it. I'm delving into your research request regarding your email stats. Apologies. I had some other commitments, but can now focus my energy back on pod stats.
Oh,
Also,
good.
for nightly weapons, no clue on my end. Sir Buster can register his tail and tongue as lethal weapons.
Nice.
Maybe even his head because he has a knack for using it to hit people behind the knee for max efficacy.
Perfect.
Now, for some thanks. Thanks for my Caparel birthday pod episode. That was really fun listening to y'all nerd out about directing. Thanks to Wendy for hanging out at the beach when I randomly came to SoCal for like 36 hours. And thanks to Tara and Kat for hanging out in spirit. We try. Thanks, Kat, for your kind words regarding EDE. I'd like to submit EDE as a potential Snoppy nominee for Best Convention held at Niagara Falls in July 2023. Shanna?
I think it's Shanna.
Shanna, Buffalo, Allie, and Emily really did put on a great event, and all of the volunteers and moderators were top notch. Glad you said that. That would have been awkward.
Like, hey, Jackie, what about moderators?
And thanks to Anne, Banana Cat, Laura, Noe, and Kat for all the nourishment, Dr. Pepper, and ice cream. Love you guys. Enough mush. Back to my spreadsheets. Looking forward to Tara and Wendy's Comic-Con adventures. Have a great week, Jackie and Buster. P.S. Enjoy this cornucopia of pics ranging from Club 33 to Buster and Wiley to Niagara. See what we got here. We've got
Buster.
Baby dog.
Oh my gosh, doggies.
Hello,
A rainbow Niagara.
That's pretty.
Kiana. Oh, there's
And
Kat.
here are the two people with Kiana.
I don't know. Who cares? Look at her.
They're not important.
They are not.
And some meat. Yeah.
So
That's from wait, is that the inside of Club 33?
I think it is. What the hell, Jackie? How did you get into Club 33, and
It's
why
from a
weren't
work
we with
friend,
you?
right? It's something to do with her work. That's when I met up with Jackie when you two couldn't go. And Jackie and I met up for dinner one night, like late lunch, early dinner. And she had plans for Club 33 the next day.
I
That was
wanna
delicious.
Go to
Mhm.
Club
Me
33, which is by the way, it's, if you don't know, it's like the secret invite-only restaurant
cool.
inside of Disneyland. It's very sort of, you have to know somebody that knows somebody to get in. Anyway.
It's got to be amazing.
Jackie, does your friend live here? Do they need more
Yeah.
friends?
Do they like
Yeah.
podcasts?
Yeah.
How do they feel about free stickers?
Yeah, we'll trade stickers for a,
about a
Disney
wristband?
33 invite.
And I'll,
Maybe a T-shirt.
You look at the wow, I don't know. Okay, hold on, Wendy. One second. So that photo of Kat Burrell, she's putting on that belt. That was Nicole Hott's belt from the show that Jackie. She won the auction that Jackie won, and she gave it back to Kat
What?
as a gift.
Nice.
It's like, hey, you might need this someday. So that
You
was
might
that
need
moment.
to pick something.
It's a very, very cute moment. And yes, when Jackie was thanking Anne, Banana Cat, Laura, Noe, myself for nourishment, Jackie was running on fumes, man. Like she just didn't have time to eat. So we were like, hey, Jackie, you hungry? Have you had anything? Do you want to go? Like we tried our best to help her stay nourished because she was just, it was like she was everywhere. She had like a clone, but it wasn't. It was just Jackie. So it's very sweet, Jackie, but thank you for everything that you did during that weekend. And I also forgot to mention, there were some Snop Tarts there that I didn't mention. Karen O was there. Master Chief Jen was wearing a Snop Tart shirt one of the days. Shelby, our good friend Shelby, the cornbread queen, was there.
Oh my gosh.
Ked was there. Just a stellar lineup of Snop Tarts. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I shouted out a couple people who we are friends with here and wanted to make sure that, send them some love as well. And yes, no, Jackie, you're a legend, and we love you very much. And yeah, come on back to LA. Maybe we'll have more time to hang out. Maybe you can get us into Club 33. Whatever, it's fine. No big deal.
All right. Are we ready for some news of the nerd kind?
The nerd variety. Nerd news, nerd news. I repeat, we have breaking nerd news. Barbenheimer. That's the news.
a thing.
That is a thing, and it was
It
apparently
is.
a very big thing. I feel like of the three of us, only two of us have seen Barbie.
You are correct.
Yes.
I will see
And
it someday.
I would do.
I want to see Oppenheimer too. I
want to see both for sure.
The things I'm hearing about Oppenheimer is like one of the best films of the century. Like
Wow.
crazy, incredible praises being sung for Oppenheimer, but also Barbie's getting lots of love too. It's nice that these two huge movies are actually good.
I'm sure they're very different.
Yeah, I think they're probably tonally completely
There
opposite.
was no full frontal nudity in Barbie, which I
Okay.
understand. There's a little in Oppenheimer.
Sweet.
No.
Oh.
Something to look forward to.
Barbie. I'm pretty sure Oppenheimer probably does not even have a trace of pink,
Probably not.
Yeah.
unless it's in the mushroom cloud. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
yeah, if you're not familiar,
that's about all the similarities.
is Barbenheimer like a worldwide thing? I don't know. So the movie
Yeah,
Barbie and
think so.
Oppenheimer, okay, here in the U.S. come out on the same day, and so there's like a meme going around essentially that people are going to see it back to back. It's a double feature.
Yeah.
Instead of having to compete with each other, just go see both. They're clearly two very different films.
Yes.
But yes, I enjoyed it very much. Thought it was a lot of fun. Barbie, that is. I've not seen Oppenheimer.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
That was really
Oppenheimer,
funny.
Hilarious.
Loved it. So many quotable moments from that one. Yeah, it was just really interesting, really different take on it.
That's
I thought
awesome.
It was a lot of fun. But
Barbie.
anyways,
Yeah, it was
no
fun.
spoilers.
No spoilers.
you.
I mean, it's
Appreciate
definitely it's Greta Gerwig, so take that as you will. It's not a stupid, goofy Barbie movie. It's a Barbie movie with thought and
It's like
a bigger picture.
There's feminism.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
It's a feminism's take.
There is. There's some really nice
Yeah.
moments. And look, I will say this. I know as I told Tara, probably should have come out of the movie thinking I'm happy with myself as a human, as a woman, and all the things that is. And when I walked out, I was like, God, what it would be like to look like Margot Robbie for a day.
No, forget it.
Gotta say, that is a stunning woman, and I enjoyed watching her.
Yeah.
movie.
They at least
She-
did make a cheeky nod to
They
that
did.
point
So,
in the movie.
no spoilers, but it was funny
Amazing.
Um,
She is a movie star.
yeah.
in every sense of the word. And I mean, I keep hearing like people are talking about Ryan Gosling, and it's like he steals the movie, and he's really good. He's really funny, but man, Margot was great. I really, really liked her in this a
Good.
lot, and
Yeah.
I will never not like Kate McKinnon in whatever she does, and
Yeah.
she was,
Well, on top of it sounding like a very fun but also kind of thought-provoking movie, because it is directed by Greta Gerwig, she's broken some records as the director of this film, including earned the title of the third biggest July debut ever, surpassing Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight
Wow.
and Dark Knight Rises, and trailing only the live-action The Lion King and Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2. So not a bad debut.
Wow.
Not just breaking records for female directors, but also for movies, period, which is pretty darn good. And, if it takes a movie called Barbie for a female director to break some records and to get some recognition, that's fucking great. It's a really big deal for a female director to directing a movie about Barbie. It's all seems really silly and stuff, but this is real. Like, you can't deny the money that's being made. Like, this is a big deal for female directors because it's so much scrutiny for women in that position, and this is a big win. And another article I read was pointing out that it doesn't have to be a sequel to make money. So this
Right.
is obviously like Oppenheimer's, this dramatic telling of this very sort of historic event. And Barbie, yes, it is an existing IP, but it's not a sequel. It's showing that Hollywood, hey, original ideas can be successsul. Stop only churning out sequels. I have nothing against sequels, but there's a place for original content, and let's let's pay our writers to do that. So it was a really big weekend for the whole industry for many reasons. So it's such an interesting duo of movies to be talking about.
A couple of things. Like, they have already, of course, being Hollywood, asked Greta, is there any chance of a sequel? And I like that Greta's like, look, I don't want to smashing by streams. Like, I got nothing. Like, this was my idea. Like, I got it 0. Like, I've got nothing. I'm not even thinking about it's like, hey, but you don't need it. You don't even need it. This was such a good start to finish movie. But after doing this well, they're just going to be like, we got to do a Barbie sequel. We got to. And I mean,
Maybe just ask her, hey, what other ideas do you have?
yeah. Well, and then I was telling you earlier before the pod how Tara and I listened to a different podcast where they, and it looks like a lot of like 70s, 80s movies that they talk about, or where they review in length older films like Star Wars. And at the end, they were discussing, did it have a positive or negative effect on movies overall? And a lot of it was like negative in the sense that it led to all the other like try to be Star Wars, but not as good.
Right.
And it was just annoying because like the lesson that you should take away is that Star Wars, when it came out, like so many studios passed on it because it was original and it hadn't been done and it was unproven. And look what it did. And it's like
Yeah.
the lesson that should be taken is like when Star Wars came out, there was no Star Wars. There wasn't even the idea of Star Wars. And now so many movies have tried to be the next Star Wars in their own way
Right.
Yeah.
instead
It
of just
changed-
embrace an original idea,
It changed the movie industry forever.
which is good.
Yeah.
But it's like the lesson is Star
Think it-
Wars wasn't a ripoff of anything. Well, I mean, of course they say, oh, he took the mythology and he took it from this, but
Yeah.
it was its own.
But every movie
Studios
does
were
that,
scared of it
you know?
because they didn't know what it was.
Yeah, take a chance, you
Take a
fucking cowards.
chance, dumbasses.
Fucking idiots. Anyway.
I mean,
we love talking Chopin.
we got a long way to go before they're going to do anything and again anytime soon. But when you start making things again, make something original. Let's look at Barbenheimer. It's doing well.
Barbenheimer.
Well, speaking of Star Wars and Barbenheimer, we
Okay.
saw a lot of that where we went this weekend, Wendy and I, or last weekend. So we're going to talk a little bit about San Diego Comic-Con.
Come on.
San Diego.
Wendy and I took our usual annual Mecca trip to San Diego. And we enjoyed ourselves very much. So we can go ahead and move on.
Okay.
Thanks
Thanks for the wrap up, guys.
There was
Long story short, it was fun.
a lot to see, as you know, this year with the writer strike and the actor strike.
Yeah.
There were not many actors or writers there.
Sure,
So
makes
most
sense.
of the big panels were canceled. There were no panels in Hall H or Ballroom 20, which are the usual big guns on
Oh,
Sunday. None at all.
shit.
There were no
Interesting.
lines for Hall H during the other days. So it was it looked kind of like a weird apocalypse in certain areas. However, it did not hurt the overall attendance. Let's just say that.
That's- Oh, I see. Good and bad.
It was so
Before we
crowded.
move on, what can you give us an example of what was in Hall H on Saturday, for example?
I think there was a
Like, what was the biggest panel, do you think, of the weekend?
I know there was. I feel like there was a Paramount Plus, like a Star Trek
Yeah.
overall panel, but
Cool.
I don't know if there were guests. I mean, none of the actors were there, and I think they basically may have had some producer. I don't know who showed up,
Okay.
but it was
Got
like
it.
trailers and stuff. They showed
Okay,
a lot
cool.
of trailers. I don't know what else they did, but that's literally the only thing I can think of.
Mhm.
I gotcha. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I
I'm just
honestly, we didn't
curious.
even look that much, honestly, to see what
I
was
gotcha.
in the panels.
Okay.
Yeah. So Friday, so we had to come up with some other things to do, which was fun. You know, it was kind of a different experience. We've been going since 2011.
Wow.
Been a while.
Holy cow.
This was really the first one where we weren't really looking at panels and being like planning our whole days around when, what we have to get in line for or whatever. So we, on Friday, had planned as soon as we got in to go to Lanford Days. Wendy, would you like to speak a little
Yes.
bit on that? We talked some about it last week, but
Lanford.
let's talk about the experience. What did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was like walking into an episode of Roseanne where they had the Lanford Days, and then they had like the big sign over the thing, Lanford Days. It was their little festival, and they had like big cardboard Dan and Roseanne out front. You
Cute.
walk in, and then they had little booths like Jackie's shot, so like Darlene's dunk, DJ's dunk booth or whatever, like a little with the characters, things like
Cute.
that. I got my loose meat sandwich.
Great. Can
Counter.
you describe the sandwich, please?
I mean, it was small, it was close to slider size, but it was like loose meat, like a sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe-esque. Yes.
Sloppy
But
Joe-esque.
as juicy as a sloppy Joe?
It was delicious.
Okay.
I would. Tara didn't want hers. I should have just taken both.
No.
It was good. It was very good.
Okay.
I don't know
But
why
no-
loose meat just isn't that
It
appealing
doesn't
to me.
sound good. You could call it something else. I
I'm
think,
sure
and
it's
people
called
would
something
be-
else, but on the show it was called loose meat
Loose meat.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
And
No
Jackie
pops?
discovered them on her truck route. Anyway,
No pop?
no pop in cans.
Oh,
Not at all. I'm sorry.
interesting.
There were no beverages. But
It was a little dry.
Ooh, sounds
no,
very
but the
dry.
sandwich wasn't dry. It was good.
Okay.
So then we went and we got a picture on the giant inflatable couch that looked like Roseanne's couch, and it had like the
So
fake
cute.
wall behind it from the show, like with their
I love it.
pictures and their living room.
We did post pictures of that on
We
Twitter.
did.
I
was
liked the couch.
comfy.
That was fun. It
Yeah.
was enormous. It made me feel very small.
Me too.
But it was good. And it wasn't too busy at that moment. So the girl was willing to stand there and take lots of pictures. We're like, now we're gonna lay down. Now we're gonna sit up. Now we're gonna give a thumbs
So
up.
it wasn't super packed.
Not when
I'm
we
kinda
went. I don't know. I
surprised.
mean, here's the thing. It was several blocks from Comic-Con. So you had to make a
Okay.
point to go there, which we did. But you had to want to go to Lanford Days. You weren't just going to run across it if you were
Okay.
hanging out near the
Fair
center.
enough.
We also got there around 3 p.m. on Friday,
Mhm.
and it closed at 6 p.m. on Friday
Yeah.
for like
Got
the whole
it.
thing. So they're mainly open. Thursday was their big day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
that-
I will. I won some prizes like a bear and a poster.
Okay.
Stuff. And Tara got me a bag when they were taking. They said, "Oh, we can't. They're nailed down. We can't get these last bags." And then they started taking them down. It's like, can she just have a bag? And so I got a bag.
because they ran out of the cool
Lanford
tote
Days.
bags, but they had some like
Yeah.
Oh, like
brewed into the thing.
display or
And I'm like,
something?
can I just rip the handle off? And I'm like, no. But then they
Whatever.
did give us, end up giving us one.
So I the show I work on, California Live, they had a live shot because Cozy's one of our I don't know, sister
Mhm.
station, whatever. It's part of us. So one of our correspondents was at Lanford Days on Friday, or before we got there, and I watched it back, and they had Dan, Roseanne, Jackie, and I think Darlene lookalikes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and they weren't there when we were there, and she didn't
That's
mention it, so I'm
cute.
like, I don't think she was aware. She probably didn't watch Roseanne. And then they also had a Loretta Lynn singer because Loretta Lynn was on the episode, or yeah, she was on the episode, and so they had a Loretta Lynn singer.
That's really cute.
So it was fun, but then after we were done with that, our next goal was to watch the Women's World Cup U.S. first match of the World Cup, and that was
Nice.
2 hours away, and so we had 2 hours to kill, so we drank it away. We went to one bar. We were trying to find a good place to watch. We wanted a fun place that would have been fun and also, was in the spirit of Comic-Con. So we went to one place, and it was kind of like some dudes in, and they put the Padres game up. And,
They were not Comic-Con.
No, it was still far.
Yeah.
So we found another one that was good, and basically just ended up staying there from just before 5-ish, I guess, to the match was over.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
it was
that.
fun.
We tipped the bartender very well.
Very
He
well.
helped find the game for us. We had to watch it in Spanish because it
What?
didn't. They didn't have it. That was blocked out. Apparently in San Diego,
yes.
the Fox stations are
It's
under
owned by
the contract.
Nexstar, so
Yeah,
it's
their
any
contract
stations.
ran out?
Well, no, it's stations owned by Nexstar. Yeah, I guess their contract was out, and they're negotiating. So we could have watched
That's
it here on Fox,
Exhausting.
but not in San Diego because they're owned by Nexstar.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Mini rant. The Dodgers played the Toronto Blue Jays the other night, and my wife and I, Leah, my wife, who I am married to,
We get it. Mm-hmm.
we wanted to watch the game and not have to go to a bar. And so we tried to do it illegally, couldn't do it. We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to work so fucking hard to watch a game of a local team that I could drive to the game in 25 minutes. Why do they
Wow.
do this? Fuck you.
Oh.
You only care about his money. God damn it, Dodgers. That's another goddamn check against you in my list. Continue.
Well,
Sorry, I'm a
Rant
little
ended.
riled up.
yes.
It's
I mean,
unacceptable,
good. It's a
guys.
fair point. Yeah.
And then you couldn't watch a worldwide soccer
Yep.
tournament that billions of people are watching because of a stupid contract negotiation. How stupid is
on
that?
a local channel. That's the
Yeah.
thing that
My
gets me. It's not a
God.
cable channel. It's a local channel that we could really just set up a big antenna and
Yeah.
probably
Antenna.
dial in
or an antenna, whatever.
an antenna.
No, it's
Luckily,
it's
they had Telemundo,
unacceptable.
so we were.
Thank
able-
God. You know what? Yes, thank you,
And look,
Telemundo.
they didn't turn
God
the sound
bless
up
them.
anyway, so it didn't
Yeah.
really make it.
God
couldn't
damn
hear
There were
anything.
other people there rooting for them, and
Yeah.
that was fun.
Mhm.
Good.
So we were like, oh, let's just go back to the hotel. We're tired. Let's get a good night's rest because we got a big day on Saturday.
Okay.
Then our air conditioning wasn't working in the hotel. So we're both like
Just our room.
sweating. Yeah, just our room. Just
Like in the
our
middle of the
room.
night, it's like I'm hot.
Yeah. I was like, I can't
We
sleep.
get it down to like 61. And
Yeah.
it was still warm.
Oh God.
It just
And
wasn't
so then you
cooling.
walk out in the hallway, it's like a blast of cold air. So the next day we called down. We're like, can you fix our room? And it did get fixed.
And they did.
So it was something legitimate
Okay.
wrong with it.
All right.
And yeah, so Saturday we woke up early. We went and got breakfast at what was it called? Broken egg? No, a broken yolk. What was it?
Broken yolk.
Something
I
yolk.
think it was good, and it was
was
Comic-Con
delicious.
out, and it was
What did you
affordable, and
guys
it was quick.
have?
Bacon, pancake, and eggs.
Ooh, I had a
Nice.
Nutella crepe.
Oh, hell yeah.
Eggs. Yes, Nutella
Sounds
strawberry. It was delicious.
Delicious.
Mhm.
That sounds amazing. And
Yeah.
sorry, and Wendy, what did you have?
Bacon, eggs, and pancakes. And that is, to me, as far as I'm concerned, I want that to be my breakfast spot for
It's-
Comic-Con.
That is, you described the perfect breakfast, both of
Yeah.
you. So
Because
I
we
love
went there
that.
the next day too, and it was equally good. Got something.
And it
else.
wasn't busy?
It was busy, but they were fast. And
Yeah.
Love that.
And there
food
was a
was
lot. There were a
fast,
lot
good
of tables.
service. Yeah, a lot of tables.
great.
They had like upstairs and stuff, but it felt like very quaint and was really
Yeah.
cute, nicely decorated.
Yeah. They the
Awesome.
guy who cleared our table was from Tech Ops or something. He's like, yeah, it's all hands on deck. Like they had all their people there help
Oh, wow.
pitching it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yep.
Mhm.
Nice.
So then we went over to the convention center
Sure.
and did our walking around. So we walked, 6 miles in the convention hall, back and forth, back
Holy
and forth,
shit.
back and forth.
Wow.
Bought some stuff. Got like a t-shirt. I got a t-shirt for the party later on. And just a few other little things. Wendy, did you get
Okay.
anything?
I don't think I did.
It
I'm
kind of
not
was,
there. I got other things later.
Yeah, it was kind of like some of the same stuff. They had the heroes and villains thing, or villains and something. This at the Star Wars booth had some good stuff.
That's fun.
But they didn't have the size of the shirt that I wanted for myself, so
Oh,
had to
great.
do that. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, there were some interesting things. We went by the IDW booth, which of course had Winona Earp up on their thing. Yeah.
Boo.
And a bunch of other shows. And I'm like, how the fuck can they afford to make this show, but not
They
Winona Earp?
can't.
Yeah.
What a joke.
Yeah. So,
What Winona stuff? Is it just like graphic, like
like trailers playing and stuff. And
really
yeah,
of
yeah.
Winona Earp?
Yep.
A show
was
that
one
they
of their
helped
shows.
to not get produced.
Mhm.
They tried very hard to not get that show produced, and they've done a great job at that.
Yep. What other booths were cool? I'm trying to think of some of the other interesting things we saw. I can't remember.
It's
right
the same
now.
stuff.
It's
every
a
year.
lot
I
of the
mean, we-
same stuff.
Well, the Tara found one shirt. She was like, "Oh, I might get this," and then you find out, "Oh no, you can't just go buy it. There's the line, and it goes all the way back." Like that's the scary thing about Comic-Con. You go up, you're like, oh, "What a fun booth! I want to buy something." It's like, "Oh no, get out of the way. The line's over there, and it goes over there, and it breaks here, and then it goes back over here."
And you have to
like,
take a
forget it.
ticket,
I'm
and
on
if we call your ticket, you might get the opportunity to buy some stuff.
Yeah,
That's fun.
That's
It's
where
really,
we are with Comic-Con.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just fun to look at the stuff, and some of the booths seemed a little different. Like usually, what is it, WB or Marvel would be there, and they'd have these like huge 2-story booths where our
Yeah.
actors go up on top and do signings.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
stuff.
That wasn't there.
Yeah, that wasn't there. So they
Sure.
had some like other kind of installation things inside that, again, the lines were just so long.
Wow. Such a bummer.
Yeah.
Good
But-
costumes?
There were some.
Cosplay?
You know
Yeah.
what? Someone asked me that, and I'm like, I feel like I halfway don't even notice them. Like occasionally, one that stands out will catch your eye. Like I saw Guardians of the
Right.
Galaxy people.
Yeah, a
I
lot
mean,
of
you see
Guardians.
Jedi. You see a lot of Mandalorians.
Okay.
But it's like you're kind of you've been going for so long.
background
You're
at this
just sort of
point.
used to them by now.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
but I think that's all I got. I got some cookbooks.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally Wendy and I were walking, and I was like, "Oh, I need to find. I would like to find a nerdy cookbook for Rachel," and literally we walked by, and there was an enormous booth full of cookbooks, of nerdy cookbooks,
That's amazing.
and they were cool. Like they just had some cool books in there. So I got a couple of those. Yeah, I got like an Avengers cookbook and an Elder Scrolls cookbook.
That's cute.
Cute. They had some, and the author was there. It was like a fun store to look in.
Okay.
Well, after we'd had enough of the dealer's room, which is easy because it's exhausting, we had a couple of functions to get ready for. First of which
Yes.
was Katie Sackhoff podcast at the American
Yes.
Comedy Club.
I'm so interested in this.
It was fun. We got there. Well, first of all, there was almost a fight in front of us in line because there was
Okay.
a girl and her guy, and then there's another guy, and he said they cut in front of him, and I wasn't paying attention enough to know who was there first. Finally, and then the guy, like when they were talking, he kind of got in the other guy's face. He was like, "Are you laughing at me?" Like got up all in him, and then finally he's like,
Boy.
"Dude, just get in front." Just get
Yeah,
in
they're
front.
like, no, dude, just okay, go in
Yeah,
front
go
of us.
ahead.
Like we, yeah.
So of course, when we get in, they're seating everybody, like lining up tables. So they sit this guy, the mean mad guy.
Yeah.
And then the next two seats to fill are right by him, and they're wanting to put this guy and girl there by him.
No.
And which I understand. She's like, I heard her talk to the lady seating people, and she's like, I'm sure she's saying, look, this
I
guy
don't
almost
sit
fought
next to
my
this man.
boyfriend in line. We can't
Yeah.
sit by him. And she was like, well, if you don't take those seats, you got to go to the end of the line. Which
Oh,
I'm
come
what the
on.
hell?
Oh my
At
god.
that point, yeah.
Ugh.
And I almost said, I know I saw what happened. We'll take the seats. But I was like, dude, I don't know if I want to sit by him. So I'm like, that's stupid. Just put him in the next two. You're going to put people in. Why is that a big deal?
That's so stupid.
And put the next two. And so the next two were us, and I got to sit by him. But he was fine. He was odd, and he ended up walking the check at the end of the night. But anyway, but Katie was good. They had
Great.
yeah. I think you're just weird, crazy, whatever.
Sure, it happens.
So they had like a warm-up comedian guy. And then
Okay.
Katie and her producer partner, they've known each other for years, came out after that, which they were. So for one quirky thing to point out, it was like a comedy club where the comics usually stand and perform.
Yes.
It was a podcast, so they sat, which I could see. I think Tara and I could both see Katie through the people. But I'm
right.
like, they could have given them stools to be a little higher so it would be
Yeah.
easier for people to see them.
Right.
There were
'Cause I
plenty of
can't-
stools
'cause
in that place.
We were like in the middle of the
Yeah.
rows, and I can't imagine being in the way back,
Right.
Yeah, you're
trying to see
screwed.
her. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as Tara pointed out, they kind of, I mean, it was good and it was fun. It was mostly about the podcast or her and some like personal stuff, a lot about the podcast, but they could not mention a show she was in, a film, a character. He even pointed out, it's like, hey, there's someone in the front dressed like someone I've seen somewhere before, but I can't say who it is. And it was like someone was dressed as Bo-Katan. And he
Yeah.
couldn't say Bo-Katan. He wouldn't say Mandalorian.
Interesting.
Like she even one time said, oh, well, it was something about, you must have seen it in, and she's like, I can't say it. I can't, she couldn't talk about anything to do with anything regarding
Yep.
acting. So, and I think they were going to have a guest, which they couldn't.
Yeah.
So Tara was like, they should have found something else to talk about. I mean, basically,
Well,
the whole thing
I'll
was-
share my thoughts after.
Okay, please go on. Please do.
Can't wait.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Yes, go. No, go ahead.
Yeah, so
Tara, the
I-
floor
again,
is yours.
I overall enjoyed it. It was fun. I think just as a lay person, not a celebrity with a big producer, and
but
that
also
has a
someone who-
podcast.
Exactly.
Yes, they were kind of thrown a wrench in the plan because they couldn't have their guests. They can't really talk about like her shows or like general that kind of stuff. But they had like 2 weeks notice that wasn't going to happen.
Yep.
It was just a lot, and so at one point you could really tell I feel like the audience was kind of like deflating a little bit because you could tell, and it was really more the producer guy that kept bringing it back around to like, so I mean, Katie, you're just so good at this. Did you expect to be like for this to be like so natural for you, and for the podcasting? It just got to be like a lot of talking about the actual podcast or the start of the podcast, even though they've already had podcast episodes. It was just kind of like, okay, we get it. It didn't seem it wasn't very structured. They had no set topics on what. It just seems like they had 2 weeks to plan, knowing that they weren't going to be able to have this guest. They weren't going to be able to talk about the shows, that they could have had some games ready to go, some other types of questions not related to that, some kind of like things ready to go, even as a backup in case these general things like either weren't going well or it was kind of like they could tell the audience wasn't really as into it as much.
Yes.
I mean, there were some fun moments throughout, but it definitely dragged a little bit in that for the resources that were had for being at a comedy club, for people having to pay $40 a ticket, that they should have had some other topics. And Katie even mentioned that she didn't want the podcast to just be celebrity interviews. She wanted to have on like they have booked like this veterinarian that helps animals and does some special thing where he helps rehab them or whatever. But, how she wants it to be about different things. And I was thinking, well, why couldn't you have gotten one of them to come on to this and just be, or even make it just about nerd stuff in general, or I don't know. But I just feel like if that was kind of something you're talking about wanting to do, it would be nice if maybe you had that person come out, like for at least for a 15-minute quick part of the interview. But it definitely felt a little bit like fly by the seat of your pants, and but which is fun to like a certain point, but it didn't have any like, okay, well now we're gonna go on to this. It was kind of like, let's talk about this until it kind of drags a little bit,
right?
And then we don't really know what we're gonna, But it was interesting just to be there and hear talk about stuff. And
sure. And you paid $40.
Yes.
And there was, I'm guessing, a 2-drink minimum?
2-drink minimum plus $40.
So that's like what, you're $50 in
and then
so far.
There were also VIP tickets that were like 100 something where you got to have your picture taken after.
Very pissed if I had paid $100 for that.
Yeah. And then you got to like get a picture with her.
That's cool.
After. Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, still the minimum waiting. And yeah, I mean, the pay for that
like
amount
was not well produced. It sounds like.
I would, yeah, and I know they've only done like a few episodes, and it just seems like it. I thought it was going to be more of a show.
Better.
It didn't feel like a show. It just felt like a conversation, but not in like the way you're like, oh wow, it felt so personal. It did feel personal. It just didn't feel like it was. I don't know. Something was a little.
You didn't need to. It wasn't enough. It wasn't entertaining. It sounds like
it was, but you could tell people were just kind of like,
is this it?
Not bored, but just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
That's unfortunate.
It was fine. It was fun. I had fun.
Maybe we should pitch to her like, hey, you should have something called the sack off seat, and you ask someone
the male sack off.
A male sack off. Come on.
Oh, there you go. It's like, come on, the ideas are just coming up with themselves.
I just think, like Wendy and I are even talking, like they could have made it a fun thing, like before everyone walked in and be like, well, we can't have guests, so if you guys have any other questions or any topics you'd like us to talk about, could have been a fun game, almost like an improv thing.
Yeah, like pull a
guests
topic
pick
out
some
of a
topics,
hat.
non-entertainment related, but just some fun things where they could have kind of improved off of that or answered questions that would have been okay to answer. And just kind of at least had that be a conversation starter. But it just felt like got a little lost at some points. But I mean, it was still cool to be there.
Sure, it's Kate Sackhoff. That's cool.
Yeah, and then it would have been really nice to have him on stools. That felt a little weird because I could barely. I mean, I had to be like totally going my head back and forth to see him.
Yeah.
But.
This is all good. These are all notes that we can use for our next live appearance.
And plans.
Stools.
After that, though, we got a party to attend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
To the D23 Hellfire Gala.
Love it.
You had to be a D23 member. It's Disney's little club that I am a member of. And you had to be a member to get tickets.
Okay.
It was a fancy park with a Q. Fancy club in San Diego, apparently. And we got there and saw the door, and then walked to the corner and walked down the block, and then turned the next corner and walked halfway down that block to get at the end of the line. Because there's a lot of people on. It actually went kind of fast, but it was built like it was X-Men, like their Hellfire Gala that they have in the comics, and this year too, like Avengers characters or different characters could be in there. So there were people dressed in X-Men costumes, Avengers type costumes.
Yeah, there were some really great costumes.
Yeah, we
did very elaborate.
Those.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then just people dressed regular too. But so we went to that. We finally got, close to 9-ish. It started at 8. I think we got in there close to 9. I mean, long line. Yeah. And you get a little badge, and it gave you a token for a free drink and a token for like a little gift bag of some X-Men stuff. We went in, there's like this tropical looking room first with like tropical sounding music that we thought was crowded. And we're like, I don't know where to go. Let's go up to see what there's like this ballroom part too. Mm-hmm. And then so we went upstairs to that, and that was more crowded. And the music was like very loud.
Legit club. Like
legit club.
Got it.
Not playing anything crowded.
Nerdy.
So
Yeah.
crowded, you had to keep walking. Like there was just no standing unless you're in line for the bar.
Yes.
Otherwise, you had to keep moving. You don't really know where you're being moved to.
We just kind of went with the flow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think
Okay.
there's the bar. So we got in line for that for a good 20 something minutes.
It's
Probably.
like you're just in a river and you just kind of like jump in and then it like
Yeah.
shoots you over in
Pretty
the
much.
current over
a
toward,
lazy river.
Yeah.
Of
kind
and
of
then
humanity.
you hop out when you get the bar.
So we got
Cool.
2 drinks at once because we're not
Smart.
getting back in line.
You guys are pros.
And it was quite warm in there. And mind you, at this point, I was wearing a sling because I had
Oh,
been
yes.
injured earlier in the day. Don't talk much about it. It's still under investigation. I'm generally okay, but still injured. So I was in this arm sling and I was like sweating bullets through my
Oh
shirt.
my
It was very
God.
uncomfortable. And we're like, why is it so hot in here? And like everyone was kind of commenting about like,
Yeah.
there's like one place you can go and it's down in the basement where there's like feels like there's a fan on or
Yeah.
AC or something.
Oh,
After we got
my
our drinks, we
God.
went down to the lair, was where the basement was called, the lair.
Okay,
And
cool.
apparently, first thing, we turned this corner and there was like this cool like lights on a hallway thing. But the better part was there were people getting up off a couch. So we took their
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
sat, and it was wonderful. So we could just
Hell
sit
yeah.
and eat our drinks. And so Tara would set our drinks on a table that was next to her at the end of the couch. And there was like drink police lady. She was coming by like, "Get those, you know,
Done?
what those?" And
Are
then
you done?
she was so ready to take them. And then finally, when I was done with my last drink, I was like, let's see how long it takes her. And I swear it was like a couple minutes. She was like, I got the drink. Picked it
Listen,
up.
she has
Yeah,
one
and then we
job,
started like
okay?
at one point I was like, I'm going to put it down. Let's see how fast
Mhm.
it takes her to get over here. And it was. At one point she did. I didn't even see her do it. I was
Yeah.
like,
She was very quick.
she was like a ghost in and out.
But there was food you could buy, I guess. There was a long line for that somewhere. There was a photo op station, long line for that barely moved.
Cool.
Eventually, we just like, oh, let's go get our gift. And then we went up to some other room with another photo op with a long line.
With a line, we had to. And again, we're going
So
back up the
depressing.
stairs. I think it was
Yeah,
just
I
kind of
think
like
so. Went up some more stairs, back into the tropical room, which by that time, it was roomy enough you could walk around and find a place to stand. And so we did. And then we hung
Okay.
out there for a little bit and we're like, what else do we do? We don't want to buy another drink.
Yeah.
It's crowded
hot.
upstairs. It's hot.
my arm hurt.
And
like-
there are other
Sounds like
people
it was
saying,
a lot of fun.
there are other people saying it's like it was oversold, it was loud. You know, this is nerds. And nerds and people nerdy enough about Disney to join D23.
Yeah.
Like, just turn it down a little bit, make it not so crowded so we could appreciate costumes. There was a photo op in front, but we weren't wearing costumes, so we didn't really do that.
Did you
I
pay
mean,
to get in this, or was
yes.
it part of your?
Yes.
How much? Do you mind not me asking?
It was like
bleep it out.
65 for a ticket.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
But we're like, it's Disney and it's a big party. And it was, we were thinking it's
We're
going to be
like-
this big,
Yeah.
which it was cool. It looked great. There were X-Men.
It's
cutouts.
D23. It's got to be great, right?
Yeah.
The other
But
D23 stuff we've done has been really fun.
Yeah.
I'm just so mad right
I
now.
know. Well, that's why I was like,
So
I can't
mad for
leave yet.
you.
We paid $65 for a ticket.
Guys.
But we were looking for a cool party. And then I did read a
Of
comment that they did
course.
for Tron the year before. And they're like, after Tron experience, I wouldn't do it again. And after the Hellfire experience, I wouldn't do it again.
No.
Because it was crowded.
Really unfortunate.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
but you know what?
I
and I
mean,
was,
Fucking Disney.
our
The best-
hotel. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, the best part of that party were the costumes that the other
Yeah.
guests wore. That
Cool.
was
yeah, that's awesome. There's that.
We found out too, our hotel we were in, which shall remain nameless, was by
Because it's
Petco
under
Park.
Investigation.
And they had like a Futurama drone show, which I don't care
Oh,
what the theme is.
cool.
It was a drone show, but we were at the party.
Oh.
So I'm like, we
And-
would probably had more fun just hanging out.
Yeah.
watching the drone.
Wendy,
and
you
the
love
thing is,
drones.
from the hotel, you could
Yes.
from our room, you could,
could
see
literally see
into
it.
the stadium.
No.
Would have been so cool. So we
But-
missed the drone show that literally everyone was like talking about how awesome it was.
And it was
We're like,
free.
motherfucker, and it was
Yeah.
free.
But look, we've been to Comic-Con a lot of years. We've done some things that were amazing and paid
Yeah.
off in spades. And then you try things that weren't so great. So
Yeah, you never know.
you never
right?
know. You try things. I wouldn't ever do a D23 party again.
Good to know.
But you try different things every year and whatever. It was
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, I'm glad you had fun when you had fun.
Yeah.
Right? There was
Yeah.
still fun that you had.
Oh yeah, I got to do the Murder at the End of the World
How was
activation
that?
next day. Luckily, instead of the 2-hour wait that it was supposed to be, we got in 30 minutes.
Nice.
For blah blah blah. Yes, we got it quick. Anyway,
Was it cool?
so it was cool for a 30-minute wait. 2 hours, I've been like, what the hell? That was 2 hours. But
Yeah,
you
me
go
too.
in. So the show premise is these people go off to this camp, this retreat for thinkers, upper echelon people. So the first thing you did was you get on this little, like you're on an airplane, and this creepy flight attendant, she's like staring a little bit too long at people and talking about we're going to this place, and then she hands out rings to everyone.
Yeah, these rings. See, I got mine.
Yes.
And first, I want to preface this by when you go into this thing, it says there's a big sign outside that says there will be jump scares, like warning, jump scares. If you're prone to like heart problems, don't go in here. Specifically like jump scares. So when this lady was doing these things, I was like, oh God, she's
you know what I wonder, Tara? Because one of the people, like there was a family with a couple of kids, and there was like a person with the activation with them, like talking to them in line and taking them in. I wonder if that flight attendant did something that she didn't do because those little kids were there. But then, so like she gets the rings, and then you place it on this thing she's holding that lights up a light on this other thing. Mm-hmm. And then you go in, and you go into this room that's like in the middle, like you're in the Arctic at night and there's a campfire. But then they took the kids and the family out. Like, okay, so you'll leave before the jump scares. But then there were no jump scares. So I don't know what they were talking about.
None at all. And I was literally, I think I scared myself more because
me too.
Was in this big cool sphere that made it essentially look like you're like in the
Arctic or something.
Like the Arctic, like with the northern lights above it.
Fake snow.
It was really pretty. Yeah, it was really pretty.
Cool.
And yet we're around a campfire. But there are like these things. I kept thinking legitimately, I was terrified. I thought someone was gonna.
I was looking
you're
around.
like surrounded by like like ice hills and stuff, and I was like, shit, someone's gonna fucking jump out from behind that hill. I was like ready. I was like on guard. I was like, please, please God, But then they're like, thank you for visiting.
Well, they showed.
Is this fake? Well, are they gonna jump out? Are they gonna get us on our way out?
Before that, though, they showed a trailer for the show.
Great.
But there were no jump scares. I mean, maybe it was a little scary at times. I don't know.
Yeah,
there were no jump
weird.
scares.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were talking about. But it was cool. I'm glad I did it. I was like part of a Brit Marling show for a minute. And we kept the rings. And then the ring, if you have a special reader thing, you put it on the back of your phone and it will take you to a web page.
That's so
where it
fun.
has like a little pretend video for the
NFC
company that
reader.
has the retreat. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So that was cool. I mean, I'm glad I did it.
How was the trailer? Does it look good?
It looks cool. It looks like you don't really get an idea. I mean, I've basically kept up with the show, so I know it's about a retreat where these people go and there's someone's murdered and she's got to solve it. But I always keep saying it's Brit Marling, so it's going to be way more than that. But I just don't know. So it gave you what I assume is the vibe of the show, which is creepy and mysterious.
Fun. I love it.
So
can't wait.
We did that and
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the art show.
Yeah, we tried to get on the Voodoo Ranger ship. But that line was on.
Yeah.
That was very long too.
You did that last year, right?
Yeah, but we went first thing in the morning, so we walked right on this.
Right.
Line. And we were like, no, I was like, I don't feel like even. We didn't want anything.
You had been drinking for
we were
so
done
long by then.
We were done with the drinking.
Hot, tired. So we went to the art show. That was nice. I do like that.
I love the art show.
When you got some cat prints.
Look,
fun.
I saw these cat prints last year and I didn't buy them. I was being practical and I don't like to be practical, but I was practical. I was like, I don't need to spend the money on pictures of other people's cats, but I immediately regretted it because I'm like, oh, what if this is a nice person and it would have like made them happy if I bought their cats. So I literally tried to track them down after I got home. Couldn't find their name anywhere. I was like, damn it. If she's there next year, if the cat picture back, I'm going to buy them. So they were there. I was so happy. I went and they got the little volunteer to go get them off the wall, took them up to the lady that I registered with to buy them. She's like, oh, my daughter took these. I'm like, huh? She's like, she'll be so thrilled that someone bought them. I'm like, well, son of a bitch, lady. I didn't say that, but I was like, I saw these a year ago, didn't buy them, regretted it.
Yelled at this woman.
I was like, you know how much I was hoping these effing pictures would be here so I could have closure on this thing.
Think about it all year.
So
closure.
That's not an exaggeration. And
so good.
so about 3 of them, she's like, well, she halfway, she thought about not doing it again this year, but I convinced her, like, go ahead and do it.
No one
I'm
bought
like,
any last
right.
year.
And I wanted to be that person that bought them because they were nice cat pictures. And so I bought 3 freaking cat pictures from this girl. So
Nice.
and a cool
I
thing,
love
it's
it.
in my room, but Leia, like someone made an art thing of Princess
Mhm.
Leia that looks
Oh, I
really
love that.
cool.
Can you send me a
So.
pic of that?
Yeah.
That's
So.
beautiful.
And on that note, we left because we were tired.
Wow, what a journey.
It is
but
a journey.
I know that the things that you had talked about wanting to go to before was the Landford loose meat thing and the the end of the
Murder.
world thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great.
Those are my
two
goals.
things on
The
your
Landford
list.
Murder Art Show.
Love it.
Yeah.
So
It was fun. Like I still, was
Aside from
different.
the sling, it was great.
well, next
for you,
year,
Tara.
assuming we get back in, well, yeah, Tara had fun. Assuming we get tickets again next year, if we get re-approved,
You will. They
I
love
hope
you.
so. I wanna go back a day earlier. It just feels like you get there late Friday, you do stuff, you got Saturday, and that's the thing. If you're doing anything, it can take up a whole chunk of the day because we had to get there
Sure.
early in line for things.
Yeah.
I just want an extra day of experience.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. We can put up
we
some more
look for-
pictures.
We look forward to it every year. Let's quickly get through these last couple things here. I feel like the Marvels trailer came out during Comic-Con. I'm thinking it wasn't released at Comic-Con, was it?
Probably. I don't think Marvel had a panel, so
No.
I doubt
I think
it.
it may have just been their way of being like, it's
Right.
Comic-Con-esque. Trailer looks great. I am super excited for this movie.
Same.
And it's funny because you keep hearing about all these rumors that they're going to replace Brie Larson. Whoever this actress is, she looks just like Brie Larson.
They did a great job.
Good for her. Whoever that person is, fanboys can go fuck themselves because it's Brie Larson because she's great. And I can't wait to see this movie. It looks really fun. And as Wendy said, there's kittens.
Kittens, floor kittens. And they had a Marvel Floor Kittens T-shirt at Comic-Con, but I didn't feel like waiting in line in an hour and a half.
Of course. So I'm looking forward to that movie. I think it's going to be really fun and good, and it just looks fun. It looks really fun. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm ready to go. I'm very excited. They've had test screenings, and I'm reading that.
Oh God.
No, that they liked it.
Okay, good.
So
Thank goodness.
I mean, who knows? It's hard to say.
It is hard to say.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But I'm very excited to see it. It's still a ways away. Like, isn't it?
November or something?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is far.
They're
Let's
hyping
see.
it early. I think they're trying to
November-
distract from Secret Invasion.
November,
Yeah,
November
which-
10th. November
People
10th.
are very disappointed with.
I gotta watch that. I
Well,
haven't
the
seen it.
finale so far is riding at 13% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yikes.
Ooh.
Just came out today though, but it
Oh no.
wasn't. I mean, look, I love to like things, and it was. I mean, I think they made a tragic mistake in the first episode that probably set the tone for the rest of. Although Olivia Colman, if all that show did was introduce her to the MCU, it was worth it because Olivia Colman was the highlight of highlights of that show.
Awesome. I love her.
Yeah, it's worth it, honestly, to watch it just for her character.
I'll watch it. I'll
Yeah.
watch it.
Nice.
Amazing.
Well, you know what's not hard to watch?
Oh boy.
The FIFA Women's World Cup.
Woo!
USA. USA. You come on. No? Come on.
Goal.
It would be great if USA won, but it's okay if they don't.
Oh, wow. All right.
I
Speak
feel
for
like
yourself.
the USA chant can be a bit aggressive at times.
USA.
Okay. All right.
USA women. USA
Say
women.
women.
Only the women.
Okay. That's fair. Okay, all right. USA women. USA women.
Yes.
have
I'm ready
you-
for
have you been-
USA.
Also, New Zealand
I am
women.
too.
I'm from
Also England.
and England.
Yes, and I'm definitely rooting for the Kiwis.
Canada.
Canada all the way. The Matildas. Let's go Australia. Yeah, there's a lot of great stories here to be rooting for, and that's part of the fun. Is you learn, in between games, these little, snippets about this person's overcome this and this. It's just so much fun. I love women's sports. I could care less about men's soccer. Quite honestly, I'm in love with women's soccer. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of it, I'm wearing my Angel City shirt today because I'm going to another game this weekend.
Good for you. I will
Very
one day go
excited.
to one of these games. And there's a handful of women on the U.S. team and other teams too.
Yep.
That are from Angel City, which is so exciting to see. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think one of the top players on New Zealand. She also plays for Angel City.
Yes, we had a whole story on her at my work.
Oh, very good. American born, but Kiwi parents, right?
Kiwi dad.
Kiwi dad. Very
Yeah,
cool.
what a lucky bitch. Come on.
How do you really feel?
I mean, come on. We can't even work. We could never move there if we wanted to. They would not let us without some special superpower.
You're right about that.
That was amazing.
But
What a bitch.
But I wish her the best.
She
Yeah.
seems lovely.
good luck in the World Cup.
She seems just lovely.
Uh,
And it's funny. Speaking of fanboys, if you listen to men's sportscaster guys who talk about sports for a living, they'll tell you that nobody watches women's sports. Nobody cares about women's sports. But according to the FIFA World Cup Euromonitor International, in 2019, the last Women's World Cup, 1.12 billion viewers tuned in. And with the average live match attracting 17.17 million viewers.
wow.
And they're expecting it to be breaking records this time around.
Yeah.
There's more people watching women's soccer this year than there were previously.
Because they win
And
sometimes.
Because they win.
They have
They certainly
personality.
do. I mean, here's the thing. How many World Cups have the men's U.S. team won?
Pretty sure
Anybody?
0. I
Anybody?
mean, I don't know. I honestly
0.
don't know.
Zero.
Definitely
That's
zero.
my guess.
Goose egg.
Have they ever
Goose egg.
been to the championship?
I
Hell
doubt
no.
it.
I don't even think they've
No.
been past the round of 16.
Probably not. How many times have
gotten
they?
to 16? No.
Probably not. How many
Once.
times have the U.S. women won the World Cup?
4
I
or
don't know.
5.
It's twice.
Oh.
They're going for number 3.
Wait,
Oh,
no, no,
really?
No, they're going. Oh, sorry,
No,
they're
no,
going
no.
for three in a row. I think
Three
you're
in a
right.
row.
It has
Yeah.
been more. My
Yeah,
bad. I
it's been more.
apologize.
Yeah. I remember
We're going
seeing
for-
Mia Hamm play in the World
Yeah.
Cup
I've
when I was
heard
little.
of her. Heard of her. Chastain, tearing
Yeah.
off her shirt. Heard of her. But no, you're absolutely right. But 3 in a row is kind of a. It's never
That's
been
a
done.
big deal.
So U.S. women's going for number 3. Did you see their pre-game outfit when they came walking? When they were walking into the
Was
bus?
it the suit? The
Oh
Yeah.
jacket?
my
Yeah.
God! Wow!
was
What
wild.
a statement!
Yeah.
They
And
look
they all had the
fucking
same
cool.
fucking cool sunglasses.
So cool.
And they
Just-
look like blazers from the year 2355. Like they look very futuristic and just
25, 25.
yeah, from the year 25, 25.
25. Yeah, they look just so fucking cool. And yeah, they're playing again in a couple hours as we're recording this now. And I love it. I mean, it's unfortunate because most of these games are on 2 a.m., 3 a.m. because it's live. And so I'm not getting as much sleep as I normally do, but that's okay. Just so much fun. I can't wait to see. It's it's for another month. It's going to be on for a while. Friend of the pod, Noe's getting on a plane soon, flying out to Australia to watch some of these games in person. So sure we'll see some photos from her, but just so much fun. And yeah, can't wait to see how we do.
She'll probably get to go on the field and meet all of them. That's just what happens.
No and
to
Noe, yeah.
Yeah.
She might actually play.
Yeah.
We need her to
Noe.
suit up.
You, Noe, we've seen you at all these other games. Why
Yeah.
don't you come in and play? Truly. And Cheetos, big sponsor. I saw a big Cheetos banner on the field there. So maybe it's maybe it's a big surprise.
Did Noe
that she's gonna
arrange
show
that?
up.
She the Cheetos ambassador.
She might be. She might be.
Nice.
So yeah, there you go. Let's go USA. Again, go USA, go Canada, go Australia, go Kiwis, and any other team that you are rooting for at home. We want your team to
Go
win
all
as well.
of them.
Go all of them. You seem like lovely people.
Go women's sports.
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 That was a lot.
Oof.
That was a lot.
We've been hit and miss, we've been late or skipping weeks, but we saved it all up for this. Now I'm exhausted.
And listen, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Sometimes we go through some things and we need a little extra time. And we know that, you're expecting things to happen on a certain day, but sometimes you don't get what you want. But we always know that we're always trying to get this out. We're always texting, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? We're doing our best. And, thank you for your patience. And we appreciate you all very much.
Mm-hmm. We love you.
We miss it
We
too.
we do. We fucking love you guys. So yeah, trust us. When we aren't able to make our sort of like self-imposed deadline, it's a bummer. And you know, we're thinking of you guys when we're like, well, fuck it, we got to make it work. So we record sometimes at very odd hours during the day and during days. So like, yeah, we always try our best.
Yeah.
Well, we're still on the X.
Oh God, we need to talk about this. What a fucking disaster.
Can I even call it? On my phone, it's still got the bird.
I know. What does it even mean?
But on my computer, it has an X.
It's
Ugh.
so dumb. He's such an
Stupid.
idiot.
We'll X out the link to our next podcast on the X.
God.
God, whatever. Anyway, we're on the X.
Such an idiot.
That's not podcast with one D.
And I think it's still called Instagram, but we're on there too. And Facebook at She Nerds Out Podcast.
Hey, send us an email at shenerds@gmail.com. You can go to our website, shenerds.com. You can look at some merch. You can hopefully buy it too. You can buy us a beer if you like what we're doing here and you want us to keep it going. Buy us a couple beers. We'd love it. If not, that's okay too. You can catch up on our episodes. You can leave us a voicemail or send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. It's one stop snopping.
Woo! All right. Good times. Till next time, whenever
that is.
Time when on schedule. She nerds out.
Out.
She nerds out. We're girls that like nerdy things.